According to a new book published called Shattered, we got some inside information into Hillary Clinton's doomed campaign. Now, there was a particular portion of this book that I wanted to talk about that is recently receiving quite a bit of media coverage, and I couldn't not talk about this. So, according to The Hill, they explained that in the book, members of the Clinton campaign reached out to Sanders' aides in late September to share a script of an ad they wanted the Vermont senator to record. In the ad, Sanders would tout Clinton for her education, healthcare, and minimum wage proposals. And he would talk about how the then Republican nominee Donald Trump was wrong about climate change and the economy. At the end of the script were the words, "I'm with her." "It's so phony," Sanders said. "I don't want to say that." Sanders did not use the slogan in the ad. The Clinton campaign eventually decided to not use the ad on television after learning that voters had some doubts about whether the Vermont senator fully supported Clinton. "People felt that it was him delivering his message, not Hillary's," said one Clinton aide familiar with focus group responses. "People didn't feel that it was an authentic pitch for her and what she wanted to do. It even had some backlash and folks saying that he's not really supporting her." So there's really two components to this story. One is Bernie Sanders' awesome and hilarious response to her stupid slogan, and two, just how ungrateful Hillary Clinton's campaign was. I mean, he dropped out and endorsed her and campaigned his ass off for her, and yet they were still ungrateful. It just shows how entitled Hillary Clinton really is and was. So, when it comes to the issue of the slogan, Bernie Sanders said exactly what we were all saying. Saying "I'm with her" is one of the most ridiculous things you could possibly tout as your slogan, because if you're a politician, you are running so you can represent voters. So it should be you who's the one saying "I'm with you," not the other way around. So you shouldn't be begging people to support you. I mean, it's just pathetic, but I don't care if you think we're with you. You should be with us. And we would have been with you, Hillary, if you actually gave us something. If you actually made us believe that you were going to fight for us and not your donors on Wall Street. And not your donors in the defense industry. So, the slogan was a disaster. It was incredibly. I don't understand. Like, if they focus group tested everything, then why didn't they focus group test "I'm with her"? Because clearly that wouldn't pass a focus group. I don't know how anyone would think that's a message that resonates. Oh, what's this slogan? "I'm with her." I mean, even if you create a campaign slogan that's relatively vague, like Obama, his slogan was "Hope and Change." That was pretty vague, but it worked because we knew what he stood for. Hope and change. He's given us hope that government will change and not do business as usual. He's given us something different than George W. Bush, who was one of the worst presidents, if not the worst president in American history. But I don't know what "I'm with her" means, and I don't care if you think we're with you. So that was a disaster. But speaking to the ungrateful nature of Hillary Clinton's campaign, I mean, it just shows you that she was so entitled. Bernie Sanders, I've said this from the start, he was viewed as an inconvenience from the beginning. Anyone who was going to be challenging Hillary Clinton was basically going to be steamrolled by the Clinton machine and the establishment. They didn't want competition. They didn't want the Democratic primary to be competitive. So the way that they viewed Bernie was, how dare he get in the way of Hillary Clinton? This is her turn. I mean, at first the slogan was "I'm ready for Hillary." Like, oh, we're ready. We have to just openly support Hillary because that's what we're getting. She's inevitable. And voters don't like inevitability. We don't like being told that we're getting something, and we tend to rebel against that. So I love this. The fact that Bernie Sanders said this is phony, it's absolutely right. It's absolutely right. Of course it's phony. Everything about Hillary Clinton is phony. I don't know who Hillary Clinton is. I don't know what she really stands for. I mean, if I could really get her alone and have a conversation with her about policy, I don't even think then I would be able to gather anything about her political positions, because everything about her is calculated. Every response that she gives you is going to be contingent on what political polls say the American people believe. So Bernie Sanders is saying exactly what we were all saying. It's phony and we don't like it. And, if you have no message, you're going to lose. That's why Hillary Clinton lost. So they really need to be more introspective and look at everything that Hillary Clinton did wrong. But I mean, they're not willing to do that. All they want to do is point the finger at everyone but Hillary Clinton. They point the finger at James Comey, at Russia, when really, I mean, think about this. If Russia hacked into Bernie's emails and released them, that wouldn't influence the election because Bernie Sanders isn't guilty. So the fact that Russia even could influence the election if they did allegedly hack into these emails, it shows that Hillary Clinton is guilty. It's an inadvertent, admission of guilt. So they need to get their act together and acknowledge that Hillary Clinton was a flawed candidate. She was damaged goods. Democrats rejected her in 2008, and they rejected her again. And if she runs in 2020, guess what's going to happen? Fill in the blanks. They will reject her. So this story was incredibly fascinating to me because Bernie Sanders, he's right. It is phony.
Support this podcast by joining the independent progressive media revolution today at humanistreport.com.